Perfect. Okay, we're all teed up and good to go. Baby is fantastic. She is currently 16 months, and for the first day since she was about, jeepers, first time forever, she's skipped her day nap. So she is exhausted. We've tried to put her down for it, took the toys out of her cot and everything, wouldn't tolerate it, skipped a day nap, and now she's exhausted, done the equivalent of us pulling an all-nighter, and we're going to give her a little bit of Miss Rachel, a little bit of dinner, early bedtime. That's going to be all good. Right. First paintbrush off the ranks is my hundreds and thousands pink rainbow unicorn brush. Now, the reason why it looks like that is because these are actually makeup tools. The bristles are finer and it works better for the kind of paint we're using here. And we've got some colours. But I've left my plates in the other rooms, so I'm going to have to come back. I see a comment there about Christmas pud. I'll come back for it. There's 100 people on right now. It's not. Alright, got my plates. I've got my plates and towels. Let's bring it all back in here. So, plates and towels. We're going to be using a surface tension breaker. Pigment particles from anywhere between 40 microns to 80 microns, bigger than the regular pigment particles you'll find in most paints. Those thicker particles will mean that the paint's more of a matte texture. It'll sit on the surface and it won't reflect. We can change it at the end by adding sheens on and all sorts, but for the start, it'll have more of a matte effect, which for you guys is great because it makes the colors actually pop more. If you find you see art sometimes, whether it's on a live stream or a picture, and it has, you might be able to see little pockets up here where it has kind of a sheen or like a reflective kind of glassy look. That's gloss. That's the finish that will reflect light back. So although you get it more shiny, more jewel-like, you miss out on color. And so you need to choose between reflective or color. And if you want to go in between, satin. So you've got matte, which means just full color, no gloss, no reflection, no shine. You got gloss, which is gloss, heavy gloss and things, which is obviously just glossy, full reflection, less color, and then you got in between, which is satin. Allegedly, you should always go for satin if you're making the artwork as, accurate as it can be, so to say. But I personally don't like satin. I'm like all or nothing in one direction or the other. That's what I think. Okay. If you like the pants, thank you very much. You can get your own pair for $10 off Temu. I don't think they're $10 anymore after the tariffs came into effect, but slipped backwards there a little bit. I'll just check on that. I think it's that. There we go. Beautiful. We stable? I think we're stable. Glorious. I've got a second picture here somewhere. Here we go. Hopefully we'll just stick that right there in the middle. So we're working off a Polaroid at the moment. It's a nice little spot to be. It keeps slipping and moving. I'm just going to make sure that actually we're not about to lose it over the back of the seat. That would be devastating. It seems stable here. Let's just bring it right the way up. There we go. I see what's happening here. Let's make that as long as we can. Bring that down. That's better. try and sneak through the gap. Get my booty through there, thank you very much. There we go. So that's on now, that's on tight. And we're nice and safe. And you guys are in the perfect position. Looks like, Janice, this is a dinner party. You threaded that needle. So the couple here we're making the painting for are on this side of the dinner party, and then their family, their loved ones are around the table with them. The table is here, it's an orange table, and then perspective shot of everything else. To spot that, you know my style. Dinner party, in the world of options, you get dinner party. You've done well. Right, where are we going to next? So, I do hope Birdie tunes in as well and is like, what are you doing inside? We talked about this. I can explain that the paint is safe. That's the key. Explain that the paint is safe. There we go. Let's get that through there. You know, I haven't got a whole lot of love for green, purple, yellow, and orange. Secondary colours don't spin my wheels. I vastly prefer primary colours. Primary colours except for yellow. Whenever I'm using yellow, I'm kind of like, what's that song? By Hinder, Lips of an Angel. Where, you know, yellow's in the room, and I'm thinking about blue or red. Doesn't know you're talking to me. What a banger. All right. Here we go. We'll start fight. So bad. You reckon he released that song when he was still with his ex? Naughty, naughty. Hey Jay. Welcome on in. Jay, I was just saying to everyone that the paint we're using is 100%. Sorry, that's not true. It's 99% chemical free. But that last 1% doesn't actually off gas into the room. So as long as the paint doesn't go on my skin or in my mouth, then actually we're 100% chemical free within the air of the studio. So we're okay working inside. That's kind of important. So if you're watching this and thinking, oh, I'm gonna do an oil painting inside, no. There's a reason why Monet, Da Vinci, everyone, all the plenty of painters of the past used to work outside. One, because it's the definition of it, but also because your health is on the line. So can't just start whacking around paint indoors and think your brain's going to survive. Breathe in all those fumes and solvents and toxins. You know, I used to think I could handle that too. I used to think I was absolutely invincible when it came to that kind of stuff, and I actually put myself in a massive amount of risk to the point where you don't like any of it, none of it. Does it? Do you? At what level do you hate it on? Is it the colors itself? Is it the composition, or is it just that? Sorry guys, just adjusting this light here. There we go. Turning it down a little bit. It's too intense. That's about where we want it to be. Is that? Yeah, there we go. Because if it's emotionally upsetting you, like, I hate everything about this piece, that's good. Now you got the opportunity to go out there into the world and develop your taste more. find something you do like. Because even if you have a negative experience with art, you've actually built on your taste. Disliking what I do will help you understand what you do like. So in a sense, you're welcome. In a sense, you owe me. One good thing about working inside as opposed to outside is when you have the light up and it casts down, it stops your shadow from getting in the way. It actually keeps it entirely out of the frame, which is a bit of a winner as far as I'm concerned. It's a bit of a winner. Sometimes, depending on where the sun is, you can actually lose huge amounts of it. There we go. Let's put that there. Wonderbar. All right, let's get this. Keep it coming. I don't know why I started singing Hinder, because now it's stuck in my head. Good and proper. Doesn't know you're talking to me. There we go. You heard that? That was my delightful daughter. Just making some noises, being a happy little munchkin. Is it a car? It's not a car, but I like your guess. Janice gets it in 1. And Janice, I'm wondering if we bring in more definition to it. We'll bring in a bit more, obviously, but I kind of like it in that sort of wild space. Like, enough for you to know what's going on, but no more. If you give too much, it doesn't have that, flavour to it. Doesn't know you're talking to me. Start a fight. No, I don't think she has a clue. There we are. Just check the reading up here. We're clean. 100% clean workspace. It's a dinner. That is correct. It is correct. We've got a couple of people here around a table and they're having dinner. Looks like a dinner in a restaurant. Yeah. Yes. You are right. But what we're trying to capture more than just, a restaurant or the characters. This isn't like The Last Supper where we're heroing just the characters. We're capturing the moment, so we're trying to make the memory of it, the essence of what's been captured, better than the photo. Because the photo exists, we're using that as a reference. So where do we go that the photo didn't go? And in this case, through color, strokes, a little bit of abstraction, we can explore the way the dinner felt, the way the composition in the photo can move and play. In a way, you could say the artist is a glorified filter. Just like you have on your phone there when you apply different filters to something. In the same way, you give an artist a photo and they effectively become a filter that gets applied to a photo if they're working from a photo. But, you can oversimplify anything like that. So, I don't think that's entirely fair. It's a be-all, end-all thing. Right. What would you call this art style? Looks so cool, might try it for art school. First off, congratulations on being at art school. Second off, this would be Impressionism. And the only reason it looks more crazy than things that Van Gogh would have done is we've got better access to colours these days. I can buy all these colours pre-made in tubes. Back when Van Gogh was painting, yellow was just showing up on the scene, the Candium or Naples or whatever it was. And that's why he got infatuated by it. But today, we can just get any color we want. And so it's Impressionism, but it's, I guess you could say, unlimited Impressionism, because Impressionism, even post-Impressionists like Van Gogh, were limited by the colors they had access to. It wasn't as easy as it is today. Paints, the worst case scenario for a paint tube in a shop, the cheapest one might be $15 and the most expensive one might be $65. So there's your range. Is that the end of the world? Nah, that's very workable in all shapes and forms. So I'm just going to swap out the brush. You might even, just going to do best practice here, guys, and put a glove on. Just the one hand. There you go. But typically though, if you want to mimic the style, then don't draw any guidelines and just look, not for colors as such, but look for shapes. And then when you see a shape, a tone that makes up a shape, you just add it. And you just match the tones and ignore the hues altogether. And if you keep doing that with a million little shapes over the course of the whole canvas, a picture shows up. But it takes a lot of perseverance, and a lot of the time you'll lose your way, and just when you hate it the most and you've really thought you've failed and you're about to give up and start again, suddenly it's perfect. So I don't know how that works, but that's what happens. Right. I don't know what's happening to you guys on TikTok, but it is blowing up on YouTube right now. There is one individual watching, having a great time, and there's 2 likes. So YouTube is out the gate right now. Careful on there. If you log into that stream, I don't know, with that many viewers, it's going to be pretty laggy. Love that you're here. And sorry for the lighting being a bit stark, guys. It's I'm still working with the lights I've got, and they're just blasting right now. It's great for the art. It's not so great for the vibe in the room, so I'll work on that. Let's see where we get to. Now, the other thing that makes makeup tools amazing for painting with, they're too delicate for thicker, buttery paints like oils and things. But if you look at this one here, do you see how short the bristles are? These are very, very stubby little brushes. And a stubby little brush means that you can really push and scrape around and dry brush more efficiently. So this is one for one what you want to be working with. Right. Enough complaining about yellows. We're going to jump into the blues. Here we go. This is pretty deep blue, actually. Just gonna slash around a little bit through here. Massive picture though. So this is 36 inches by 48. Big canvas. Big canvas. We can work with it. We can do this size, but I've even been considering, like, there's been about, in the last year, about 27, maybe 20 to 27, definitely over 20, definitely under 30, let's say that, commission requests for sizes below 30 inches. Because typically I only work big, so I just tell these guys, we can't. I did a few for a friend, a kiss goodbye and things were smaller, but I always go bigger. And now I'm starting to think, actually, maybe small's all good, but unproven yet. All right. You know, I remember when Karak, I would love to invite you in and we could have a yarn, talk about art. I would really enjoy that. That'd be right up my alley. But I tried that at one point, inviting people into it. And then someone came on and said some really racist and prejudiced things. So Unfortunately, unless I know you, there's no way I'm adding you into the live. Just on the risk that you might do that. Spread a bit of hate. So we can't have that. Oils. No. Guys, no oils indoors. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. I've bought the most expensive, the best oils on the face of the planet that is available online, and none of them are suitable to be used indoors. None. Seb, you're ignoring DJ Carly. I would never ignore DJ Carly. I'm so glad that you're here, and I bet you make some amazing tunes. Speaking of amazing tunes, watched the documentary on Simple Plan, and oh my god, I love Simple Plan. I love it. And anyway, now I've been listening to Simple Plan lately. Yeah, so if you're working with acrylics and oils, now don't make the mistake of thinking, I'm not an oil boy or girl, I'm using acrylics. Acrylics are worse for you than, good for you, DJ Carly. Acrylics are worse for you over short periods of time than oils are. So acrylics cure, they dry within a 2-day period. So they are volatile and they are off-gassing extremely fast. So you, when you're working and in the 24 hours that continues, you're breathing in glue. That's clearly going to melt your brain. Don't do that. And then with oils, although they're quite pungent, they have that oily smell to them, realize that they're going to have that oily smell and off-gas into the room for the next 6 months. So although that's awful for your health for the long term, actually in a 24-hour window, not nearly as bad as acrylics. So both of them should never be done inside. Never, ever, ever, not under any circumstances. Do not bring your acrylics inside. Do not bring your oils inside. And I am ashamed to say that on a few of these lives, I have done so. And I'm sorry. It was bad for me. So please, 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 please heed that. Oils are even better outside. They won't dry out in the wind. In all honesty, you need hundreds of dollars to even try and replicate the beauty of lights that are outside. So that's a thing. But anyway. Plus outside, you don't need a studio. In fact, I think the first 8 months of Van Gogh pursuing his artistic career, he just painted outside, if not for large portions of it, because he was renting in a space or living in a space where I think the owner's children were in the same sort of room or flat as he was, so he had to go outside to paint. Anyway, point is, nothing wrong with painting outside. That's where you want to be. And if you're not sensitive to fumes, that's a great place to go, because if you breathe in a few and you're not sensitive to them, you're going to be okay. And if you don't mind them, you won't get that many of them and become sensitive. I didn't used to care about fumes. I was 100% safe. But now I'm super sensitive and I just cannot even be around acrylic or oil paints in the slightest. So if you use acrylics and oils and you'd like to actually keep using them, I recommend you actually start doing outdoor painting. Otherwise, you'll become like me and you actually won't be able to use these materials almost at all because of the chemicals inside of them. And that's kind of a good thing, because you shouldn't be breathing in chemicals, guys. That's just not what humanity was built to do. Carry on needs to stop. And we normalize it because we feel like, the artist should sacrifice for the work. Yeah, and what, effectively die? Or melt their brain away? Like, come on, guys, let's not play that. Alright, bit more of the same blue because it is popping. Jump on in here. We'll be putting more flowers in the trees. So, funny story, no trees in this. It's going to blow your mind, DJ Carly. And would you recommend protecting them from dirt and debris outdoors while they dry? Okay, amethyst. Couple of solutions there. As long as you can put it somewhere to dry, don't leave it outside because the mildew will lift and it'll even play around with the oils in some cases. And plus the sun, plus the liquid of the, in the evening, mildew, wake up, sun, it's going to warp panels and things you're working on. Need to be avoided. I reckon you should take it into a garage or a shed or, even a closet. Put it in there so it's protected after you've finished your layers. But as you're painting it, be outside. So that's up to you how you do that. If it's under a pergola, like a little tent or a hut, or you've got a little veranda that comes out, it can literally just stay out there. It's 100% fine. It's totally fine to do that. It has Vincent van Gogh colours. It's actually got a few extras. These days, we all act like it's, poor old Van Gogh didn't have the same access to colours that we have today. And yet, you never stop hearing about stories about artists moaning. Yeah, maybe it's hard to sell art. Maybe it's hard to make a career out of it. Maybe that's really tough. I respect that. Yeah, probably is. Yeah, it is. But that doesn't mean that actually it's hard to make art. In fact, throughout history, your access to pigments and colours and your ability to make art, you can buy canvases from a DIY store for just absolutely nothing, cheap as chips. Your ability to make art is better today than it's ever been in any other time in human history. So your whinging is only about selling art, because making it got exponentially easier. In fact, Van Gogh couldn't work above certain sizes. As his budget would grow, so too would his paintings, because he literally couldn't paint big when he was running out of money. He couldn't afford it. His paint was expensive. Surfaces were expensive. There we go. Let me know if you want me to keep whinging about that. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, also what you can do is if you're working with more delicate stuff, amethyst, like delicate stuff, egg tempera, gouache. Egg tempera is very hard to work with outside because it will cook in the sun if you're not careful. You need a very mild day to do egg tempera outdoors. Plus 0 wind, because you're working with literal pigment powders. Anyway, what was I going to say? Something about amethyst. What was it? Ah, you can spray a fixative over the picture to protect it. Only really if you do it before it's fully cured, it's going to trap air and liquid under the surface of it. So once it's cured, however long that is for your medium, charcoal and things is immediate, then all of a sudden what you can do is basically do whatever you want with it. Fixatives like commercial plastics over the whole surface of it. So it's a good solution if that's what you're after. It'll ruin the sheen on an egg tempera painting, but it will also protect it. So you gotta choose, like with egg tempera, it's that fine line between ultimate protection and ultimate beauty. And like, I think it's a bit of both camps. It wants to be about the sort of 50-50 mark. I like the idea of varnishing egg tempera work. I think it's a good idea, personally. People are like, no, you should never varnish an egg tempera work. I don't know. Yeah, egg has got its own unique properties and they look really cool, but it's very hard to protect. And when you tell someone the painting can only be presented behind glass, although it's okay, I like physically touching the work. I like to be up close to it. I like to be able to actually run my hands over it. And you're like, that's so taboo, you should never do that. I don't know, that's what I like. So if the finishing coat is a commercial, you know, non-yellowing varnish, which is effectively, when they say non-yellowing varnish, effectively think like a plastic. If the end coat is effectively a plastic, then you can wipe it clean with a cloth. And while it's there, you can touch it and play with it and do anything you want to do with it. And I think that's, to me, I feel like that's an important feature of a good picture. The ability to actually engage with it. And if it's textured, plus it's kind of fun. The taboo that you should never touch a painting, but then you can touch the paintings. So that's pretty fun. If you heard that grumbling noise, that was my tummy. But it's okay, because I have plans for a curry tonight. It's a chicken vindaloo. And I put a lot of work into it, so I'm very proud of myself. I reduced the onions yesterday. Got Shelby to pick up a bunch of special spices when she was in the store. There we go. Let me stand back for a moment. Have a little look-see at it. The blues are popping. That's great. I want to see more reds come into it. Definitely more reds. Yeah. Reds, blacks, and whites. So we got a bit of black. We've got deep black areas, but not any black detail. Like, you know, shorter little cut lines and shapes. So although black's playing a role, it's not doing enough. And then white, because contrasting with black, that's great. So that's what we're up to next. And I'm up to date. Fantastic. Right. The other cool thing about these brushes, if I'm not using any dangerous paints, I don't need to wash my brushes straight away. This can dry out and in cold water, clean my brush off completely. So you're safe and everything just got way easier, which I reckon is pretty choice. Right, perfect. Primary red, that's exactly what we want. Of course, there are conversations around red, where the primary red is a cool red or a warm red. This is the cool kind. I think this is scarlet, actually. There we go. All right, red. Where are we going with red? Here we go. That. I'm looking forward to the black making an appearance in this work. Like, not just the big appearance it's already made, the smaller, more intricate detail that we actually love black for. There we go. It's gonna come through The previous red I've hit it with was a Venetian red. And Venetian red's a little bit more yellowy, orangey toned. And on top of that, here's the kicker with the gouache pigment we used. It's even more white in it. So it's actually gone a little bit tacky, and I want that vibrant, rich kind of scarlet, even crimsony red coming into this picture. So Venetian didn't cut it. It's good for a bit of a tone in between the wood, you know, the brownish kind of tones and those warm tones, but by itself, it's kind of off-piece. Venetian red kind of only exists to bridge the gap between siennas and primaries. Sounds kind of rude. There we go. There we go. Right, down here into the dinner table. Who's the Pink Heart? Is that the name, is it? It's a crazy name. Do I just call you Pink Heart? I suppose I do. And hello, Fax. Good to have you here. We've got red now. Red going over Venetian. That's the play. You know what I'm playing tonight? Diablo 4. That's my plan. Don't know what plans you've got, but my plan is Diablo 4. There's someone there asking which team I play for. And I'd have to say that, disappointingly, I was so bad at sports at school that I wasn't picked for many sports teams. That's why I chose to do art instead. So that's a thing. Right, let's get the next color off the ranks. Pale rosé blush. It's kind of already in there. It's kind of a double up if I get that again. Here we go. We're going to work with white. So we're going to start cutting it around the place. Get some more detail out. Perhaps white and black will be our last two colors, I would assume. We'll see how we go. See how we go. So check on my equipment here. It's got a green on the gas, which means it's still healthy, but it's picking up something. Sometimes they include some things in the test tubes. And I think maybe it saw something in the red or immediately in the white. You gotta be careful with yourself. If it goes to orange, that's too far. Orange or yellow means it's in the not serious concern, but it is a thing zone. Now, this one's going a little bit too dry, so we're going to put some surface breaker in it. touches. There we go. Glassware all over the table, but you can't actually see the glassware, just the occasional little white bit of reflection makes it show up. That's what makes the glassware pop, just a little bits of reflection here and there. So we've got a big orange table, big warm colour, big old table, and what we're adding to it is just those little highlights that make up the porcelain. And glassware's kind of fun. There's a cool, those wine glasses we have now, the ones that don't have a stem, so they're just a bowl that sits on the table. That's what that one is. That's currently that there, and that line there. Currently, where I'm liking the most. Part of the reason behind that is we've let the characters take a little bit longer to develop. I didn't want to over focus on them in case that would actually stop the rest of the work from developing properly. But as the work around it all gets better, it improves, it gets vitality of its own, we can start actually addressing these characters more, showing them a little bit more love, and allowing them to really start. We're going to bring them to the table. We're just going to appear around the table. That's the plan. Here we go. This one here kind of slides in there. Perfect. There's a plate here as well. Just a little plate. Thanks, Chloe. Oh, let's get another one in there. There we go. Plate over there, acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Need more tea?
Yes, please. That'd be delightful. I was going to come and get some tea for myself, actually.
I know it's
How's
not tea,
how's
right?
Coopsie doing?
She's good.
She's a happy little jumpling?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Don't listen to it, guys. It is tea. Let me just stand. G'day, Steve. Welcome on in. Steve, you've seen me make, you've actually got some competitions, Steve. So, this collector friend is coming very, very close, having a collection the size of your one. This piece here is their family around a dinner table. Massive perspective shot, a bunch of colour. In fact, the amount of orange and browns in the palette is kind of reminiscent of the one we did, Two Cowboys, which for the first time in like 3 years, it's available as a print, Steve. So that's pretty fun. Also, Wildcard guys, apologies for the lack of prints in the store in the past. This has been tweaked going forward now. So one of the biggest changes that's happened in the last 3 months, 4 months, is Shelby stepped in and she's been the studio manager, but now she's actually taking over the hosting of the website and keeping those prints up to date. So she's doing a phenomenal job, way better than I ever used to. And I'm really excited because that's going to make the prints available for you guys in a bunch of different ways. She's even got t-shirts, which as soon as they arrive, I'll keep getting my pants and things from the op shops, but my t-shirts, they will start being, she's got one coming, it's Oasis, and it says the title of the work, and it's got the work right there. It's really cool, I like it. Yeah. This shirt I've got right now is actually from an op shop, so I've been doing some pretty good op shopping around this area as of late, but looking forward to getting my t-shirt. The white, yeah, so when you work with a bunch of color and blacks, when you add white, it's gonna pop off as hard as black would, and it's gonna start allowing you to really get some bit of context in the image. Without the white, all the colors seem to flatten out a little bit. For some reason, the white brings the colors forward. It doesn't steal the show, but I feel like it adds nothing to the yellow bits, but it adds everything to your blue bits and your red bits that just out they come. So if you want your blue and your red to pop, add white. That's my 2 cents. And also, Steve, I hope your son's doing well. He was a few exciting milestones he was hitting last time we were speaking. My daughter's growing like a mushroom, which if you never heard that saying, means she's growing fast. I'm sure Steve's heard that saying, I mean everyone else. Growing like a mushroom means growing fast, because when a mushroom comes up, basically the fungi is under the ground and it's ready to go, and then some rain comes and the mushrooms go poof within 24 hours. So the saying growing like a mushroom means growing fast. If you already knew that, I'm sorry for the condescending explanation. Oh, Shelby, don't rat me out. Soda water. Right, let me stand back here and have a little bit of a look-see. Agree 100% with the individual that said the white was making a huge difference. I don't want to overcook it, is the only thing. I think we need black now. Yeah, I think we need black. I've got plenty more white here, but actually black needs to cut in to make these features happen, so then we know what colour to come in with next. Fellow Kiwi here, where in New Zealand are we based? We are in the Bay of Plenty, the Mount, actually. Shelby loves to surf, so we've found our way to the Mount. I also love it here. It's not just because of her. I love it here too. But the happier she is, the happier I'll be. So the Mount's a lovely place to be. Now, next colour up, jet black. It's like carbon black's not quite so cool cousin. Because actually, I'm going to go for a different one. Ooh, better still, indigo. Dark. Let's do a bit of indigo into carbon black. That's my plan. Indigo. Prussian blue, that'll be a side quest that we do here. And this one is lamp black. Better than jet black in my opinion. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And plus lamp black has the teeniest, tiniest bit of blue through it. Kind of feel. So dark palette now, but that's got to be what we use to actually pull in these little pockets of details. Guys, you're doing an incredible job to spot that this is a restaurant scene and it's abstraction at this stage. So if you're seeing restaurant vibe, you have an eye like an artist that you wouldn't believe. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because this is very, very, very abstract at this point. And so if you can see the restaurant scene in here, don't let anyone who's ever told you you don't have the eye of an artist. Don't let anyone tell you don't have the eye of an artist. You definitely do. This is and there's lots of little side quests here, like this one here. There's a character here, but it's actually a picture on the wall. And it kind of throws off the perspective to stop you from seeing the table here with the characters around it. The perspective shot here, like, that is a grounding element to get the perspective here. But it doesn't help you when there's these no man's land pieces that kind of throw off what might be happening. The table's not obviously shaped, and there's this, yeah, like I say, this character here. So if you're spotting through that, well done. Okay, Steve, I should reiterate, you do have the biggest collection outside of my blood. So my family, my mother and my father and uncles and things, they hold some more. But you personally have the biggest collection. Definitely in Hawaii. Definitely in Hawaii. In America, I think the person who gets closest to you, Steve, would have 4. So they can't hold a candle to you. If you've heard that saying before, holding a candle to something, if you say you can't hold a candle to it, it means that it's no competition. I don't know where that saying comes from. Does anyone know where the saying "can't hold a candle to it" comes from? I used to use that saying a whole lot.
It looks so cool.
The t-shirt.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, is it up?
I can't send the link in TikTok, but
Oh,
I want them to see.
No, because then people would
so
send
dope.
spam links. This is the t-shirts that Shelby's been working on, guys. So this is what we get when you're not waiting for me for things. Let me show you this. I'm going to bring it. YouTube. For the 2 awesome individuals on YouTube, they're going to see it first, and then I'll show you guys. Hold on. So there it is there. That's Oasis. It's on a t-shirt. It's got the text above it. It's very cool. I'll bring it in for the TikTok crowd now. That's it there. Oh, Shelby's phone. Yeah, so you got the t-shirt there. The artwork's massive on it. And then it's got Oasis there. It's cool. So anyway, I'm going to definitely get one of those. But basically, going forward, I get to concentrate on the painting. And Shelby is our new studio manager. She, like I said before, way better at that kind of stuff than I am. So looking forward to that stuff running way more smoothly.
Did they like it?
One person said "whoa,"
Whoa.
but he didn't use the W though. He said "oh," so O-O-O-O-O-H, which
That means they like it.
could mean serious
They
concern.
like it.
That's great.
Yay!
That's
thank
great.
You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great feedback, guys.
Good.
You've motivated the studio manager. Proud of you guys. We need to keep her motivated, or it's going to be all back on me, and you guys will wait months for different things. Because the thing is, you get yourself spread so thin, guys, that suddenly the thing that takes the biggest blow is the creative process. You stop focusing on actually making art. You're focusing on websites, development, print schedules, papers, frames, and things like that. And now Shelby just puts frames and prints and designs in front of me and says, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, not that, not that. That works. This works." And like, oh my God, it's just so much more efficient to actually get results on the table. And the biggest result of all, the most important part, is your focus goes completely back into making art, which is just phenomenal. So, kudos to Shelby. Let me just bring that across here. Your ooh was interest. Hey, crazy thing, Wellington Gamer. Your birthday, 1993, is the same as mine. I am also born in 1993, with the key difference being that my birthday is in January. January 12th, to be precise. And I'm one of those people who hides my birthday on Facebook and then gets really indignant when people don't wish me happy birthday. Not indignant, it's kind of like, no one wished me happy birthday this year, when I actively hid the fact that it was my birthday. And I thought that would cut it in a world as busy as this one. Well done, Sebastian. We need dark colored shirts for Maui. Lava Dirt makes everything. Interesting, Steve. Interesting. Didn't even think about that. I'll pass it on to the studio manager. Vinny, you're correct. I don't normally wear gloves, but as more people have started to watch what we do here, I've realized that I need to follow best practice. And although we have lots of beautiful pigments, a lot of them contain heavy metals and they don't release into the air. You don't breathe those in. The off-gassing that usually occurs is from solvents, which are releasing VOCs, volatile organic compounds. But with the actual paint itself, it contains heavy metals to get those beautiful colors. Typically reds and yellows will have candiums in them. Blues will have cobalts. There's a whole bunch of these nasty things in them. If it gets on your skin, you absorb those heavy metals and it's bad for your health. So for your painting hand, if you get paint on your hand, and here's an example, this tiny, tiny little divot on my finger, you will get paint on yourself. And when that happens, a glove will stop it from actually being absorbed by your skin, and the heavy metals won't cause ailments. And when I say ailments, I'm not meaning like headaches. I'm meaning serious ailments like, you will get cancer. You will. California has proven these things are known to be cancerous by the state of California. So probably don't get them on your skin, especially not on a regular basis. They may not be in the air, but look after yourself. There we go. It is crazy, super crazy. So if your palette's clean like mine is, it's pretty well maintained, then you can actually completely afford to have a bare hand here, but don't get those dangerous pigments on your skin. You're shortening your life, you're hurting your brain, you're killing yourself. And I don't believe, personally, and I've said this before, I don't believe art can be beautiful if someone needed to truly sacrifice their health and well-being for it. Sacrifice hard work, give blood, sweat, and tears, but the moment you're hurting yourself to make the art, the moment you're breaking and losing brain cells in order to make the art's actually lost all beauty. There's no beauty in pain like that. There's no beauty in unnecessary suffering. There's beauty in sacrifice, hard work, sacrifice, all that sort of stuff. There's no beauty in unnecessary suffering. So don't think that by using oil paints indoors and getting it all over your skin and hurting yourself and possibly actually shortening your life is going to make your art more beautiful. Just don't do that. It's not good for you. There we go. Alrighty, tighty. Let me stand back and have a little bit of a look-see at this. See, oh, that darker blue's just sending it. It definitely made this all it wanted to be. It definitely gave better depth to the table here. I want to play up around here some more, and then a couple of little pockets in here that need to just pop out. Did you paint this from scratch? Did I paint this from scratch? Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to think of a witty comment to make there, but nothing came to mind. Yes, so it started as a ply panel, and the ply panel is put onto a framing piece on the back to stabilize it even as it gets wet. And then we apply a sizing layer, which is a toughening up, essentially a plastic layer. It used to be rabbit skin glue that we'd use. So rabbit skin glue, it would be, it's kind of gross. Rabbits had a very unique property. We'd use it to make glue. We'd use that to make great art. Ever since the invention of plastic, we've been using plastic instead. Well, I want to avoid plastic. That's a little bit better than murdering rabbits. So you do the sizing layer with plastic, and it's an acrylic polymer, which is a fancy word for plastic. And then you use that with a little bit of titanium dioxide, which is white, which is why gesso is white. Anyway, gesso goes onto it. The primer these days is exactly the same as the primer we use for house paint. It's 1 for 1. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's fancy art stuff. Sometimes, but for the most part, good primer from a DIY store is pretty similar to good primer from an art store. Like, those gaps are closing every day, where the best quality paint for painting your house isn't far off the best quality paint we use for art. The biggest difference right now is the pigmentation, because pigments are not cheap. But hold on, I'll just slam this a little bit through here. There we go. Nah, trail of thought gone. I had a point to make there, but it's truly gone. Oh, sorry. And then once the sizing layer's onto it, we go at it with this fume-free, chemical-free paint. In this case, we're using gouache. So the gouache goes on. While we're using gouache, it's got the most potent pigment load. The pigment particles are bigger, they're thicker, they're stronger, and we're using that to get the most punch in the color palette on this piece. Sometimes we combine gouache with egg tempera, sometimes we use raw egg tempera, and other times we can do all sorts of different things. But in this one, in this one, we're using mainly gouache. Click in my back. There we go. Gouache, it's kind of like manly watercolors, because they don't need a specific order to land on the page for. They can just, ooh, there we go. Gorgeous. Let me just dab this in here. See the power that black has. See how it just gets in there and just completely alters. Creates contrast, does everything you want it to do. There's a line of black in here. There we go. Just like that. Gorgeous. That's what we need. Into the indigo. Check our air quality. 100%. Perfect. Perfect. That's what we're after. Candace. Am I saying that right? Candace, welcome on in. And we're streaming in 2 places right now. So we've got a great crowd here on TikTok. Thanks for joining in, guys. And we got 4 loyal people on YouTube. If you want to get a better angle on the artwork, YouTube's the place to go. It's a big old landscape shot. We can't do landscape on TikTok that easily. I don't think you can. So if you want a landscape shot, if you're using a TV or anything, YouTube's the place to go. I got a bit of, the reason we're doing it on YouTube too now is when I put it on a TV, because my daughter likes to watch me paint and talk, I don't use the whole TV screen because it just goes portrait mode. But if I put a landscape up, it's easy for her to see. Everyone's happy. So that's a thing. I always need to find a brush, but anyway, we'll keep persevering with this one for now. Indigo is a gorgeous colour. Get up in this corner here. Here we go. So, my daughter wanting to watch in landscape mode is what sparked the idea to stream in landscape mode too. So that's what's happening there. Stand back and have a little look-see at this here. This corner here needs some love. Let's just get some there. right, team. We're going to pause there. We've got an absolute ton of paint on that screen now. If we keep adding paint on, which we can do, what will eventually happen is the whole thing will start turning to porridge, because this paint doesn't cure. There's no nasty chemicals in it to cure. So we need to let it actually dry, and then we need to set it with a special varnish. And by doing so, we can continue painting. If I keep painting now, the blacks will mix with the whites, the blues will mix with the reds, blah, 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 blah. Painting will be ruined. So, we pause there. But, you're new here. What's your inspiration on this piece? This is for a really special collector, now friend. And this is... It's a special story behind this dinner. A special story, I should say personal story behind why this dinner is significant. I'm not sure if I'm at liberty to share it, so I won't. But it is a significant scene. It means a lot to this individual, and it's a great honor to be here capturing it. I'll say that much. But 1, 2, 3, 4, thank you very much. And thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. You have prints done of the originals, correct? Then do you sell the original painting as well? The commercial side. Yes. So there's a couple of things, Betty. There's the original work, which could be an original or a commission. Maybe I want to keep it. Maybe it's already got a home. Maybe it's for you. Who knows? Then there's a print. There's 2 versions of prints that Shelby's working on. You've got museum grade prints, which is when it lasts for 100 years. It's gorgeous paper. It's designed to be in, it can rub shoulders with the best of the best. So if you buy a museum grade print, then there is nothing better. You're playing with the best. And that's the idea behind it. The next stage is the canvas prints. So the canvas prints are, hey, I don't need a work to last 100 years. I'm not putting it in a gallery or a fancy Malibu mansion. I just want the beauty of art inside my home. The canvas prints are there, framed, looking gorgeous for that purpose. And so you've got 3 options. The massive, expensive, glorious in the flesh original. You've got the visually perfect replica of a museum grade print. And then you've got the canvas prints, which I own a lot of those. I love them to bits. They're affordable, they're fun. They're the best thing for a home where you want a bit of color, but it's super budget friendly. Love them to bits. But yeah, anyway, enough on that. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Thank you very much for joining. This painting's going somewhere pretty special. It's got a lot of color in it. It's I want to see more reds. I feel like the browns are kind of pretending that they're reds, but there's not enough red currently in it, and there's a lot to be gained by that intense primary red. So we'll keep working with that. Anyway, cheers guys. Look after yourselves. I'll say goodbye. We got up to a 7-person count on YouTube. So YouTube is popping off. Guys on YouTube, thanks so much. I'll catch you later. Whew, it just ticked to 8 the moment I said that. How wild is that?